As you can imagine, January 6th just made my religion radar go wild. While watching the Capitol attack unfold, which I did not from the museum because we were closed down for the pandemic, but from home, watching it live through a C-SPAN feed, uh, two things really stood out to me and have stayed with me since that time. First, a huge amount of religious imagery accompanied the mob that invaded the Capitol that day. You could see it in flags proclaiming, "Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president," and in the patches worn on tactical gear, citing biblical verses about wearing the armor of God. You could also hear it in hymns sung by rioters and prayers shouted into megaphones that day. The mood for many, as they described it themselves after the event, was something like a religious revival. If anyone with us today would like to see some examples of what I'm talking about, you might check out a project I've been involved with through the past year. The Twitter hashtag capital siege religion, all one word, capital siege religion, and has been an ongoing archive of the religious dimensions of the attack, started just days after. And you also could check out the online resource created by the Smithsonian and the University of Alabama, uncivilreligion.org, which is a gathering of all those materials into a single place. This effort to document the religion of January 6th grew out of a concern about the second thing that I noticed that day and the days following. Initial media accounts of January 6th, for the most part, seemed to ignore religion or treated it as only a very small part of what happened. There was then, in the immediate aftermath, and there continues to be today and into the future, a real risk that religion will be edited out of the story of January 6th, which would simply be disastrous for forming a lasting understanding. In the 13 months since the attack, it's become clear that religion was essential to what happened. Religious symbols and rhetoric provided encouragement to a large number of the rioters as they have expressed themselves. But perhaps more importantly, religious symbols and rhetoric gave permission to many others. Whether or not they were religious themselves, to hear sermons broadcast over them gave them a psychological safety net, made them feel that their cause was righteous, and allowed them to do things they otherwise wouldn't have dreamed of doing. We've also learned since the attack that the religious context was not at all accidental. It was an event that had been long in the works, with religious leaders and media playing important roles. But it's important to note that January 6th was not only a destination, it was a collection of signposts directing those involved for what may be yet to come.